Let's talk February fishing. We are out on Smith Mountain on a super mild late January day. I'm trying to get you guys this video real quick because our baby is coming any moment now, but I wanted to get on here. I get a lot of questions this time of year when you're seeing a lot of bigger fish caught by a lot of different people. What's my go-to baits at Smith Mountain in February? This is the best time of the year, in my opinion, this next 30 to 45 days to catch your biggest bass out here. And really anywhere in the country. This time is when the pre-spawn fish are starting to put their eggs on. It's earlier than everybody thinks. They're on transition spots, they're in ditches, they're pretty easy to find this time of year, and they're interested in eating. So we just had 4 or 5 days of super cold nights, and it's 52, 53 degrees right now. So what I want to talk to you guys about is the top 5 baits that I would have on for the next 30 to 45 days on any condition day. Obviously, we're slick calm today, so we're going to do a little bit of finesse fishing probably, but these other power baits can be utilized in conditions like this as well. So the other thing that I always want to bring up in February is shad. This is the time of year also where you're gonna kind of lean a little bit heavy on shad stuff as opposed to craw patterns. A lot of the crawdads have burrowed for the winter. They get up into that rock. They're just kind of hunkered down, waiting for those spring warm-ups to come back, and that's when that crankbait bite and that jig bite comes back. I still have a jig on, and I'm still gonna show you guys a jig I throw, but I do lean a little heavy on the shad stuff this time of year because you have things happening like shad stun, birds are chasing, stripers are schooling, so there's a lot of different shad options. So jumping into that, I'm just gonna start at kind of the most staple thing, and that is a jerkbait. So for anybody that knows me or watches any of my videos or goes to my Instagram, is a Megabass 110+1. It's always on the boat. It's usually rigged up 12 months out of the year, but this is when it actually shines. And the reason is that shad stun that I just mentioned is when you can work a jerkbait, varying speeds, some days they want it fast, some days they want it crazy slow, being able to present something that looks like a stun shad is what gets bigger bites throughout the winter time. So this is just a nice white color from Megabass. I'm throwing it on a Dobyns 704 CB DC Shimano with Sniper 10-pound line. You know, really flimsy jerkbait special kind of rod, and what you're doing every day is you're basically just coming out and figuring out the cadence and the color. We have a little bit of stain today, so white was a good choice to just have on the deck, and you can play with your colors a little bit. Megabass has a ton of cool colors. They come out with crazy releases all the time, so you can get a unique looking bait that not a lot of people are going to have. But a Megabass +1 or a Vision 110+1 covers shallow, and you can still get the attention of some deeper fish too. So that's a good all-around jerkbait to have there. Next is one of my favorite ways to do it, which is cranking. And this is going to be another Megabass bait, but this is a flap slap. So it's a thinner profile bait. It's kind of fished similarly to a shad wrap, and what you're using this for is covering shallow water, rock veins, stumps, brush, 45-degree banks, back of pockets where the bait gets pushed in, but it's a tight wobble. It matches how the shad are swimming around right now, and it's just a really good overall profile. I'm throwing it on a 705 Champion glass, again, a Shimano DC with 10-pound Sniper, but this is a good all-around, throw it in every type of condition to mimic shad. Next, I will go to something that's gonna be more suspended type of fish, and again, if anybody knows me, I'm a big front and facing sonar guy, but that is a Damiki. This is a VMC Moon eye head with no eyes left, and then this is a missile bait spunk shad. They're a little 3 or 3.5 inch. This is a super fun way to go fishing. If you're by yourself, I think it's the best way to do it, and it's pretty fun. If it's partnered, it gets a little bit more tough for everybody to be catching fish, but this is what I love doing for ditch fish, drains, suspended over treetops, hover strolling over brush piles. It's a fun way to use your front-facing electronics and get the attention. And this also correlates to the shad stun, because if you can drop something down and hover it in their face and kind of give it that random stun twitch, you can definitely get some bites and some big bites on this as well. So throwing it on one of my fancier rods. This is a Dobyns Xtasy 722 Shimano Stradic I've got it with 10-pound braid to a 7-pound sniper leader. And then the other thing that I kind of show everybody is, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I tie a loop knot. That just gives it a little bit more movement when you're doing those subtle snaps. But this is a really, really good mid-depth suspended match the hatch type of approach for wintertime fishing. Jumping to baits that I have that are more geared towards the bottom. Mentioned it earlier, I don't throw it as much as I probably should, and I feel like I say that in every video, but that is a jig. This is a Missile Baits Headbanger head, and then I just tied my own skirt. I think throwing a little bit darker profile this time of year, it's got a little bit of that blue in there and a darker trailer, can help them kind of find that bait a little bit more. This can be fished all the way from 0 feet of water to 40 feet deep. I've got it on a Sierra 734, which is a good all-around rod from Dobyns. You can do pretty much anything with this rod. Again, another Shimano DC, and I've got 18-pound sniper on this one. With the jig stuff, pay attention to when that full moon's coming, and kind of, if you can while you're out, gauge how deep are the fish and just kind of focus on that 10-foot range of where those fish are. And this is the time of year where you're going to be wanting to drag that thing crazy, crazy slow, but you can get some huge bites on a jig this time of year. So that's a good bottom approach. And then the last one, which I piggyback on from Damiki, is when you find those bait balls this time of year, we're gonna start seeing predatory fish under the bait or in the middle of the bait balls. And one of the best ways to target them is with a blade bait. So I've got a Megabass Dyna response. This is a 1/2 ounce. Couple things on this bait that I think are really, really important. I know Megabass isn't the cheapest, but with quality comes price. The hooks on this thing are crazy sharp. This marabou flash on the back, if you guys look at the way they designed it, it's actually meant to hold that hook up in it. And it's meant to do that so that you can kind of rip this thing down on the bottom and not have all those trebles exposed. And then the way that it sits, it's kind of front facing, or front leaning rather, on the way that it sits. But this is a technique that's really, really good when it gets really, really cold. And what you're doing is you're dropping it below those bait balls, laying it on the bottom, and just gently lifting and snapping to get a fish's attention that's kind of coasting along the bottom, and just kind of rubbing their bellies. And it's a really, really good way to get some big bites and catch a lot of fish once they're under that bait. Rods, it's a little bit unique for me. I throw it on a bait caster. This is a 733 from Sierra, or excuse me, from Dobyns. It's the Sierra series Chronarch, and then I actually throw 30-pound braid to a 10-pound leader. I like the braid because sometimes I'm barely getting vibration out of it because I don't think they want it as aggressive, and I can feel every movement on a rod this sensitive and going braid to fluoro. So another great way to focus on the bottom section of the water column on fish. So that is what I have rigged. Of course, I have other rods out and typical wintertime things, but these are the 5 that I am the most confident on, that I can come out here, have a chance at a giant one, have a chance at really good numbers if I can find the right fish in the right ditches. So take a look at all of those baits. I'll have them linked in the description on this video, or you can go to my website, smithmountainlakefishing.com, and check out the bait shop, where I list all the baits based on every season that I recommend as a guide that I have in my boat. If you're interested in booking a guide trip, you can do it on that site. And I appreciate you guys watching. Tight lines.